Hi, it's me, Jimmy Emerson. Welcome to my third show, How to Jimmy Vegas. How to Jimmy Las Vegas. That means what you need to know about Las Vegas, where to go, where to party, what shows you need to see. Our show, like I said, this is our third one, and I'm having a great time doing this. And it's so much fun to be able to talk to different people and get the inside source on what's going on behind the scenes at one show or another show. And as I told you before, I moved to Las Vegas from Texas in 1985. And when I first got here, the first thing I did was go see all the shows in town. And back in the 80s, there were lots and lots of showgirl shows, big ones. The Follies Jubilee at Bally's, the Bal de Moulin Rouge was at the Hilton at the time. And these were big, over-the-top productions where 30, 40 showgirls would come down stairs after stair after stair in beautiful headdresses and beautiful long legs. And, you know, sometimes they were topless. I mean, beautiful women, but they'd have sequin and rhinestone bras. Their tits would be out, you know, but it was beautiful. It was admiring the female form, and it was done very, very tastefully. Wonderful designers, Bob Mackie, Chanel, so many artists and local people like Michael Darren, who was one of the top choreographers, and he designed costumes like you can't imagine. I hope that we can put up a couple of sketches. I have them. If not, look on the website, you'll see them. Speaking of our website, we are part of an all-new magazine, online magazine called What's Up.Vegas. What's Up.Vegas. There's no apostrophe. It's just What's Up.Vegas. Say it with me. What's Up.Vegas. And you'll find everything you need to know. There's all kinds of stories about performing, about what's going on, a little bit of political. We don't get too political in our show, but we touch on things that are going on in Las Vegas. For instance, we've got a new mayor's race coming up. This is our mayor, Carolyn Goodman. This is her last term, and she and her husband both have been mayors for as long as I can remember. But we got a couple of comments from the last show that they wrote in or called it and said, Jimmy reminds us of Carolyn Goodman, which I think is funny because I actually have impersonated Carolyn Goodman. You know, she's got the short blonde hair and she's a beautiful lady, you know, so we look exactly alike. But we've actually done things together, Carolyn and I. Going back in the history of Las Vegas, we had a female mayor, Jan Jones. Was very famous and very popular at the time. I knew her as well, and she was the first mayor to ever join in to do something public for the gay community. She was actually part of the Gay Pride Parade back in her day. Well, Carolyn Goodman has been no exception. She's done the same. In fact, 2 years ago, I was on the stage announcing the different floats at the Gay Pride Parade, and Carolyn joined me on stage, and we made jokes about, she says, oh, where do you get your hair done? I said, I'll let you know because you're due. She thought it was funny. I offered to take my hair off and give it to her, but she said, don't you dare. Anyway, she's a delightful woman. I'm hoping to have her on the show soon. There's going to be a new mayor's race. We'll talk more about that. I've got a couple of people that I like that we'll see. Chris Giuliani is one of my closest friends. She's a big supporter of all the things that we do in the gay community. But I just want to say to all you female, we do emphasize drag on this show. It's one of the reasons we do it. It's the reason I get all dolled up to host the show. We have people from different shows, and like today we have a show, the all-new revival of Stephen Sondheim's Follies at the Aliente, and they'll be on a little later. And then I have Miss Edie. Miss Edie was the star of Zumanity, Cirque du Soleil's Zumanity, for many years. She's going to be one of my guests today, so I'm excited about that. But this show is here to feature drag. And so I always have at least one drag performer on my show. The past shows I've had Natalie Blaze on. I've had Jim McCoy, Normally a Man, has been on. Coming up soon, I've got LaWanda Jackson. She's coming in, Miss Gay America. This week, I lucked out because Miss Edie happened to be available. But I had put the word out, and we'd booked a couple of different female impersonators. I won't mention their name. But they backed out on me last minute. I don't understand. This is a free venue. Girls, get in touch. come do the show. I'm here to talk about all drag. You can be a newcomer. You can be a well-established drag like me and Miss Edie. We've been around a while. But anyway, without going into too much detail, I want you girls to know I'm here for you. Let's promote your shows, where you're working, where you came from, where you're going, where you think you're going. I'll let you know. It'll be fine. But anyway, enough of that. I want to go and talk real quick. We want to remind you we're winding up Women's History Month, the month of March. Women's History, speaking of Carolyn Goodman, we want to talk about Jan Jones, Chris Giuliana. They've done wonderful, as women, a lot of good for Nevada and especially for Las Vegas. So, remember your moms, remember the ladies in your life, and by the end of the month, and do something good. Take a woman out to lunch, Olive Garden, anywhere. Well, don't go there. Anyway, okay, that's good. I'm done with that. Now, here's something that I have meant to do since show one is talk about our logo. It's right here. What's up.Vegas, you'll notice there is a rainbow check mark. If we can put the check mark up. Now, look, when we first started this a few months ago, getting ready to start the magazine and talk about having the show, we brainstormed and said we need some sort of little symbol or something that shows for our different advertisers. If you're a restaurant or a beauty salon or any kind of business at all, you can put the little rainbow check mark in your window or in your ad in the corner or wherever. And all the little rainbow check mark means is that we're open to everyone. Everyone is welcome. It doesn't just mean we're gay friendly. We are, but we're friendly to everybody. So all that means is just a simple way to say, check, you're in with proper ID. No, just come on in. The check mark's there for your pleasure. So just remember, everyone is welcome. So today, coming up soon, I've got, like I said, the cast of Follies. My guests are Suzanne Gibson, dear friend of mine. We're going to talk to her. Terry Thorndike, a legendary showgirl here in Vegas. She was actually in the Follies Bougere show for years and years. We'll talk with her. And one of the producers of the revival of Stephen Sondheim's Follies, Tim Molyneux is here. And we're going to talk to them. And then, of course, to my dear friend, Miss Edie, star of Zumanity, a fabulous performer, a wonderful dancer, and she showed up today. Thank you, Miss Edie. We're going to go away and we'll be right back. Thank you. One of our sponsors here at How to Jimmy Vegas is the incredible Dark Lady Gypsy. She's my personal friend. Tracy Fawn is her name, but she has registered the name Dark Lady Gypsy. The word gypsy, who you think a lot of people have claim to. She has been doing this for over 35 years. She is truly has an insight as a psychic that I've never seen, and I've met and known a lot of psychics. Please do yourself a favor, get a hold of Dark Lady Gypsy and have her, you could talk to her. She'll do a tarot card reading. She'll do a reading with you on the phone. She does horoscopes. She's the top of the line when it comes to psychic readings, and she's very affordable, and she's my dear friend, and I trust everything she says. She's helped me a lot in my career, and I hope she helps you with yours. Dark Lady Gypsy. And I'm back, and I'm here with the gorgeous, the most talented woman I know, Miss Edie. Edie is very well known. She's been around. We're going to chat with you in just a second. And thank you so much for being here.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yes.
I had a last-minute cancellation on my guest, and I put the word out yesterday. I said, I need a guest for my show. And Edie texted me right up, and she said, you know what? I'm not leaving town until till the next day. Yep. So if you want me, I'll come in. Here she is.
Yep.
You got all dolled up and everything.
Anything for you.
You're so sweet.
Anything.
We're going to tell stories. We've worked together a few times. And anyway, this man named Frank DeCaro wrote a book. And I read a little bit of it, and I'd heard about it. It's called Drag, Combing Through the Big Wigs of Show Business. It's on sale now. And in the first part of it, it mentions about Las Vegas being kind of always open for drag, as far back as you can remember. And in the book, it lists, I think I quote, it says, Las Vegas has been welcoming home for drag entertainment, and the book's roster or profile includes such local performers as Jimmy Emerson, thank you, Frank Marino, and Zumanity Mistress of Sensuality, Miss Edie. So Edie came here. I don't know if you've been to Vegas before. Were you here doing performances before Zumanity?
No, I moved here only for that. But I did come once when I was 18 years old. My dance partner wanted to audition for Jubilee. And so we went and auditioned, and she got it because she was a gorgeous, tall showgirl.
Well,
and
so
I
were
didn't.
You.
I didn't get it.
Dancing is your forte.
Yes.
With legs like that.
But
I
was too skinny for Fluff. Her name was Fluff.
I remember Fluff.
I was too skinny at the time, not now, obviously.
Oh,
I was too skinny at the time, and she thought I was, she said, you're too white.
Okay.
She did.
Be blunt.
She was very blunt.
Jubilee was a very wonderful
it was a blessing,
show, and the Follies, and which we're going to talk about in a little while. Great shows, great production shows here.
Loved it.
The Fluff had a reputation of being very strict,
very tough,
very like put the hammer down.
And she said things. She was very blunt.
That's right.
She held nothing back.
Who does that remind me of?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, so that kind of fun drag has always been around. But
I wish I could have seen all that.
Yeah,
so
I've been around. I do a lot of that myself. I love comedy.
I knew about you though when I moved here.
Did you?
Well, you're royalty here in Las Vegas.
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, you are.
Well,
she is.
You're so sweet.
Don't listen to her.
Okay, so you auditioned for Zumanity.
No. Eventually.
Eventually, because it.
I got a phone call out of the blue.
Yeah.
Just out of the blue. I did not audition. I did not submit. I didn't do anything. And I thought it was a prank call. And so when she said hi, and I'm like, and she says, my name is Krista Monson from Cirque du Soleil Casting. I said, shut up. Who is this? And she goes, my name is Krista Monson from Cirque du Soleil. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And she said, it's okay. I get it all the time. And so then they asked me to submit. And then they asked me to audition.
Well,
that was crazy. Like, why would Cirque be calling me?
Because
I didn't know what
you
was
had a
going
pretty
on.
good reputation then too, as a hostess and a mistress, and you were tall and you had long, beautiful legs, and I mean you had a lot of the qualifications at the time. This is why I remember. What year was that?
That was 2008.
08.
Well, I started. That was in 07, and then I started January 08.
Because at the time. I have my own production company, and sometimes I represent other artists, drag artists and actors and actresses. But at the time, I was representing a wonderful performer, Christopher Peterson.
Yeah.
Christopher Peterson had been around for a long time from Canada originally, and had come to the States, was touring, and my company we were representing him, doing his contracts and all that. Yeah. He got the call you got.
Yeah.
Was asked to come audition. So that's when what I heard was it came down. There were 8 or 9,
of us.
Then they narrowed it down.
Yeah. Well, they did a nationwide search. I didn't know this at the time, and
okay.
Thank God I didn't know this because I would have had a heart attack. They did a nationwide search, and then they narrowed it down to 8 of us. Mm-hmm. And then they brought us to Las Vegas to audition on the stage, and they didn't tell me that either. I thought I was just going to be in like a dance studio audition.
Oh yeah.
No, so we were on the stage, but they never let us see one another. They put us in different parts of the hotel.
Well, that's smart.
So I didn't know who was there until afterwards. Yeah, great company though, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, no, I understand. A lot of wonderful. Well, you landed the role. Long story short, you got the role, and you were there till 2020.
Pandemic, yeah, March.
2020 when pandemic started.
March 14th.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they decided to close.
But not for 8 months.
A lot of shows closed.
But not for 8 months. So we thought for 8 months in the pandemic that we were going to go back to work. And then in November 16th, they called us with a COVID update.
And that update was you're fired. Get out. You're done. Curtain. No, but I was reading some comments from back then. This showed up a few times. People commenting on the show back then were saying things like, "Well, I got up and left. It was just too dirty for me. I couldn't believe it. Well, I saw the show several times.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was dirty at all. I thought it was hysterical and very sexy.
But Zumanity had to find that balance of how to make edgy, big city people who have heard it all push the envelope for them, but then also not make it too crass for Middle America. Because a lot of it's Middle America. And so those are the people that saw anything that might be homosexual, you know, and then leave. Because there's that remember that great scene with the two guys?
Yep.
And they're fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, and it just builds up and it builds up. And then at the last second, when you think they're going to kill each other, they kiss.
They kiss, I know.
That's what they're talking about.
That's a little shocking, you know.
That's the scene they're talking about.
Is it?
Yeah, that's when people would be like, oh, and
so
leave.
the girl in the champagne glass spilling over and all that was.
Well, there was two girls, so you know, they loved it.
Equal time, right? Now, no, just a real quote. I just meant to say that, you know.
But it got much better when as gay became more accepted and LGBTQ.
Sure.
So over the years that I saw. I heard before a lot of people would leave, and I'm sure that meant like 10, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But it was...
You had 5,000 people in the audience, so 4 or 5 people leave, who cares?
Yeah.
It was a wonderful show.
Yeah, and you know what? If you don't want to see a beautiful show, if that's going to bother you...
And it was Cirque du Soleil. I mean...
Yes.
How big was the cast, you think?
Our cast was 48.
That's pretty big. Yeah.
It's pretty big. It's not as big as like
Sure.
Which is the other show, which is a huge cast.
Oh, yeah.
100 and some people.
There's a lot of people in that one. Well, as RuPaul says, don't mean to quote Ru, but he has been around all the time. Yeah. We're all born naked.
Yeah.
Everything after that is drag.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I pretty much believe that.
I believe that too.
Yeah, anything you choose to put on should be your choice if that's what you wear.
Yeah, especially when you're making such a statement. If you know, I mean, if you're making a big statement, like, you know, like I think a Leatherman, I think that's drag.
Well, of course you do. Speaking of Leatherman, not that he is a Leatherman, let's talk about your partner, Jamie Morris.
Let's talk about
now,
it.
Now, you guys have been together a while, 20-something years?
January, we celebrated 25 years.
25 years? Congratulations. Yeah. That's wonderful.
And we got married on the Zumanity stage.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
Was the audience there and everything?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was on a day off, so it was
invited.
Just 250 of our friends and family.
Yeah, that's nice.
We had the whole theater to ourselves.
Now, who was your priest or your authority?
Greg Chase, just a local fabulous man.
Yeah, I got married to Jimbo 31 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And we did it in San Diego because it wasn't quite legal in Nevada yet.
Yeah.
So we did it in California. And we had, our minister was, guess who? Chad Michaels.
Was it?
Chad Michaels.
Oh, we love Chad Michaels.
Because Chad and I are still very dear friends.
Yeah.
We toured with La Cage. We worked at La Cage for, ultimately 24 years. Yeah. We toured Canada. We toured Brazil. We went to London. I mean, Chad is just hysterical. He's wonderful. If you haven't seen him, look him up. Chad Michaels, Cher, Celine Dion. He does a lot of characters. He won the All-Star race, I believe. Yeah. Anyway.
He's so good.
That's always fun.
And such a good person.
Oh, sure.
I mean, just salt of the earth.
A good heart. You just meet him. He's just, let's talk, girl. Let's dish. Yeah, he's wonderful. Now, back to Jamie. He writes comedy shows and...
Well, I think it's why I fell in love with him, besides the fact that he's adorable. But I always love Goofy, and I love comedy, and I can kind of take on the world and like really like I'm gonna conquer the world, and you know, and then I like people who can snap me out of it. And so he's a brilliant comedy writer and playwright, or not the same, and actor.
Is it true he's in the show
at
the erotic Heritage Museum called Puppetry of the Penis?
Yes, and that's the other reason
Okay. I knew it. I just knew it.
Yeah, he's been in Puppetry of the Penis for 7 years. 8 years. 7 or 8 years.
Yeah. He
handles
himself very well.
Yeah.
We're going to put some pictures up. Now, don't forget, John, we've got pictures of you in Zumanity.
Yeah.
And we've got pictures. We don't have pictures from Puppetry of the Penis. I'm sorry. Even if we did, I don't know if they'd let us show them or not.
I'll get them to you.
but anyway, we're going to be showing some of your different looks. And so tell me, where are you headed? Out tomorrow? You leave right
tomorrow?
away?
I have a show in New York City on Thursday, and then Saturday Boston, and then on Sunday I fly to Puerto Vallarta for a 2-week run.
2 weeks run.
And then up to Portland and
Well, now you work at Puerto Vallarta on and off a lot.
I do.
Yeah.
I've been performing there for like 20 years.
I thought so. Yeah. And what about P-Town, Provincetown?
Yeah. I spent my whole summer in Provincetown.
Yeah, I've only worked there a couple of seasons a while back. Yeah. It's a fun place to be. But it's
brutal.
It's brutal. It's
so
because
exciting.
of the competition for the shows.
so much competition.
You literally have to get out and hawk your own show.
Yeah. There's this thing called barking, where you have to be out on the street barking your show. And when the first year I did it, I remember I was in New York City, living in New York City, and then I was barking in, and I had won New York City Drag Entertainer of the Year.
We don't need bark, arf, arf. I mean, hey,
No.
come see my show.
Barking.
Get in here.
Yeah. And people would come up from New York and they're like, Edie, what are you doing out here? I'm like,
They didn't expect that. Oh, I was the same way.
As
they
much
told
as
me
I
that,
hate it.
oh, you have to go out during the day and
come see my show, come see my show, come see my show.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you doing out here? And I'm like, it's Provincetown tradition.
It's a Portuguese fishing village.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a little town.
It's the greatest
It's a little gay
resort.
getaway, and it's fun. They have the boathouse. Is that still the boat slip?
Boat slip, of course.
Yeah, they had their big tea dance. If you know anything about that,
Yeah.
and you've done.
And underneath the boat slip?
Oh well, I've heard about that shit. Well, I never did, but and then Key West. You've done Key West.
I have done Key West, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long
Okay.
time. I would love to go back.
I know so many of the performers that do cruise ships. I know you've done your cruise ships.
Yeah, I just did one.
Just did one.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You're just everywhere, Edie, and thank
I
you
know.
so much for coming on
I
today
like to eat.
and chatting with us. And so you leave for New York tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
When you're back in Vegas?
Just in time to see your girl, the Follies girls.
Oh, April 11th.
Yeah.
Yes, so
I
they're
mean,
coming up. Speaking of that, coming up in just a minute, we have representatives from the redo of the famous Stephen Sondheim musical Follies, which is going to run from April 11th, I believe, through the 14th at the Aliante Casino. We're going to talk to them and talk about a lot more when we come back. Thank you, Miss Edie.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. We'll be right back, guys. Thank you.
Hi, I'm John P.G. Stiles. Some people call me JPEG. You can probably guess why. I'm the founder and partner at WWDBTV. Does your business need a commercial, or do you already have one and you just want to get the message out there? Do you need a sizzle reel? Do you need an audition tape for a part that you're up for? Or have you ever thought about hosting your own show? Well, this is the place, WWDBTV.
And we're back, and as you can see, I'm joined by a bunch of the cast from the Stephen Sondheim musical, Follies,
Right.
which is being revived. I'll let you tell about it, with a huge cast of beautiful showgirls, some in their 90s. I can't wait to hear about that. And a 30-piece live orchestra. That is amazing to me. Welcome, guys. I'm so glad you came.
Thank you.
It's
We're
good
so
to see you.
happy to be
Thank you.
here.
I'm thrilled to see you. So with me today are my good friend Suzanne Gibson.
That's right,
I'll get
we're
your
not
last
good
name right.
friends.
Suzanne. Terry Thorndike is here with us. Hi,
Hi.
Terry.
How are you?
And one of the associate producers, performer, and the company manager of the whole thing is Tim Molyneux.
Hi.
Is Molyneux or
Perfect.
Molyneux?
pronunciation.
He said it
Perfect.
good, didn't he?
That was
Molyneux.
perfect. No one ever
Oh,
says
good.
it
I
that
said
way.
your name right. I speak French. No, I don't. Anyway, so as I mentioned, the show opens April 11th.
It does. April 11th.
At the Aliante Casino.
Yes.
There's a main showroom there, I
Yes.
guess. Yeah. So, wow, you guys have been rehearsing for a while. I've seen all kinds of videos and Facebook and Twitter posts. So tell us about all that.
Oh my gosh. Well, Tom and Dave, David Robinson and Tom Michelle, they had this vision to do Follies. We've been working on it for over a year, almost
Yeah.
18 months.
Yeah.
And I think it was December. That's when we first got together as a cast. So since December of last year, we started rehearsals, and it's been quite the exciting experience. to many
Yeah.
people.
Oh, I know. It's involved the whole community. I mean, everybody, every choreographer, and they've been in and out helping with scenery and props and costumes and all
Yes.
this stuff. Before we go any further,
Yeah.
tell the story of Follies, the actual story of the musical. Stephen Sondheim wrote it back
Yes.
in 19...
The 70.
I have it written here somewhere.
Broadway.
When was it? 70-something? 73?
71, I think, was the
I think
Broadway
71.
version.
Yeah, okay. That's about right.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen Sondheim, as we all know, wrote many, many musicals. You know,
Classic.
A Little Night
Quintessential.
Music, Gypsy, so many.
Merrily We Roll Along.
Yeah, and of course Follies.
Mm-hmm.
And I googled last night the top 100 famous Stephen Sondheim songs.
Okay.
Well, when you think of, when I think of Stephen, I always think right away, Send in the Clowns.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm here, so that's. Everything's coming up roses is what I know Edie likes. That's it. Anything Ethel Merman, There's no business like everything's coming up roses. So that's always fun. One of the famous songs from Follies, I'm Still Here, right?
Love
We're
it.
all still here.
Oh, yeah.
Good times and bad times, I've seen them all, and my dear, I'm still queer here. I'm sorry. I do that. Could I Leave You is also one of my favorite songs. Could I leave you, how could I leave you? And when it skips forward, I love the part where she goes, you can leave me the house, you can leave me the car, you can leave me the this and the that. It's brilliant writing. What surprised me, though, now see, songs like Maria from West Side Story, A Little Priest, what song was that from? I don't remember. The Ladies Who Lunch, we know that one.
That one's awesome.
Here's to the ladies who lunch. Everybody will laugh. And then, of course, Not a Day Goes By, Somewhere, another one from West Side Story, Pretty Women, Old Friends, Bosom Buddies. I was surprised, it listed in the top 100 Stephen Sondheim songs, that Broadway Baby was not.
No, it was
Broadway
like my
Babies?
favorite.
I know. I love it.
You know that
Especially
one,
when
don't
you
you?
sing
I
it.
sing it in my act
Give
all
them
the
a
time.
sound.
I'm just a Broadway baby, walking off my tired feet, pounding 42nd Street to be in a show. Oh, gee, we just like to be on some marquee. We could do the whole thing. I'll twinkle in lights. I don't know. But anyway, I just wanted to mention all those songs. Comedy Tonight, I played that part. Zoodles, yeah. From Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. There's so much brilliant stuff from Stephen. But back to the show.
Yes.
Like you say, you've been rehearsing for months now.
Yes.
And you're getting ready for the opening on April 11th.
April 11th through the 14th. Yes.
And what are the times you think on that?
Oh, April the 11th is 6:30, and the 12th is also 6:30.
Okay, so
13 and 14, there are a matinee show.
matinees.
Yeah, and
That's right.
yeah.
Well, now, Suzanne, I've
Yes.
known you for a long time.
I know,
We
and I
go
love
way,
it.
way back, and
Yep.
we've done a lot of different things together. Shows. Now, tell me, you got your start here in Las Vegas. I won't give dates. A while back.
You know what? I know it dates. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you tell us when
It
did you
does
start?
date me when I say that we were at the Silver
Slipper.
Slipper back with Mickey Rooney or Donald O'Connor,
Right.
and back before these things were imploded, the Dunes.
Right.
So that dates me enough. Right there.
You worked at the Stardust.
That tells you. I was only
Which
6
shows were
when
you?
I did
Which
it.
shows were you just a
We
dancer?
did at the Stardust and
Stardust,
at,
right.
or at the Landmark, the Silver Slipper,
Sure.
and just danced.
No, I
yeah.
know that you've been.
We
there's
were
that- now-
with
now-
the TNTs.
We have some photos
Dynamite.
that you sent that I had some and you sent me some. So we're going to put those up on the
Great,
screen here
okay.
while we're talking because you're just you're a beautiful woman anyway.
Aw, thank you.
But when you put on all
So
that
are
show,
you.
well, thank you. It's not real. I'm just saying.
Got that on. You guys didn't see that.
I will. Terry is here. You were an actual showgirl in the Follies.
Yes, I was. It
Yes.
was my first show. I started in 1970.
We have some pictures of you on the stage.
Yeah, and I
we're
started-
showing them now, I think.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did perform with a live orchestra at the Trop.
At the time, absolutely.
Yeah. All the shows back then always had a live orchestra.
Yes, and it was underneath the stage. It was
Yeah,
the Passarella,
right.
and they were
Well,
underneath
that
the
kind
stage.
of disappeared over the years
Yes,
with
it did.
canned music.
Yep.
What do you think of canned music, Tim? I know
Not
it's
a big
not the
fan.
same, but I guess it's the affordability. You
Yeah.
know, musicians don't work for
It's
free.
the
no
operation
one-
that keeps shows running and
That's
the
right.
quality of the show.
And so, of course, the ticket prices keep going up, and there's still canned music. So
Yes, exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have my own opinion, but they said keep it to yourself, Timmy. Keep it to yourself, and I will. So Terry, tell us a little bit about how long you've been in Vegas and
I've been in Vegas for 54 years.
wow.
Yeah, I worked in Europe for a little while. I worked in the Moulin Rouge in Paris.
Yes.
In the early 70s, and then I came back and I worked at the Dunes at Casino de Paris.
Yeah.
Show, which is
remember that.
great. Yeah, and I did Bare Touch of Vegas. I did all the lounge shows, Sassy Class with Michael Darren. Knew Breck Wall real well too.
Right. Oh,
yeah,
Breck and
yeah, Breck
Michael.
was my favorite.
They
yeah.
produce a lot of different
Oh,
shows.
yeah,
They did the
yeah.
Razzle Dazzle show.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of touring shows, but they open in Vegas and then they go on the road.
Oh, yeah, it was-
always Vegas, Lake Tahoe, Reno was always.
It was great. It was great. And then I went back to to the Follies in 1979 and stayed there till
nice.
1990, 91.
Okay.
And then I just went on to other things for about 25 years. Then I came back to my dancing roots about
Very nice.
8 years ago.
So you always danced and
Always
been ready
always
to go.
danced and did something.
You get the call, hey, can you be in the show? Sure.
Absolutely. And back then, in the 70s and 80s, there was always in the showroom, there was always that show going on, and there was always a lounge show. So there was always work.
It was
I
great.
loved the smaller
The
lounge
lounge
shows. They were
shows.
so much fun.
They were so
Edie
much
and I loved the lounge show.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
They
seen
were
any.
the best.
Well,
They
back
don't-
in
they're
like
not-
she was talking about the 90s.
Yeah.
I came here in '85.
Yeah.
There was a pretty big deal then.
Oh.
And they still had some live
Yes.
stuff, even in the lounge show. Even Breck Wall had a
You'd see
5-piece
the best
combo.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the Flamingo. Didn't it? And he's still there at
Do
the
you remember?
Flamingo?
Did you sing any of the big shows? The Follies, the old
Follies?
before your
Yeah.
time?
Yeah, because I got to see it right when I moved here, and then it closed the next year, I think.
Yeah.
Now, just to be
09.
clear, Follies.
There's different.
Follies Bergère.
Follies Bergère
It's different
was
than
a
Follies
production
musical.
show with showgirls and specialty acts and singers.
It's like a
and
review show.
A review show.
A review show.
Right.
But the Follies musical
Musical is a book
totally
musical,
different.
yeah.
a totally
Script,
different.
theater,
Okay.
musical theater,
So I think I
Broadway.
interrupted you. Tell us the
No, sir.
story
Okay.
of the actual.
Yeah.
I'm
No, go
sorry.
ahead.
No,
I have
that's
notes,
okay.
but I don't pay too attention.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, I
We're just-
interrupt you. Tell
we're in
us
show
the
business.
story
You gotta just
of
go
the
with the flow.
musical.
The show must go on.
Follies. Yes.
So the actual musical, you would think that Sondheim wrote it for Las Vegas because it is about showgirls going back to their theater that they performed 30 years ago, 35 years ago. The next morning is going to be a parking lot.
Oh, sure.
So the implosion. So it's all about showgirls and implosion and blowing up their history, the spirit of what they've been doing with their lives. But it's never been formed here in Las Vegas. You would think
Right.
that it would. And then so they have a reunion, and at the reunion they talk about what they've been doing and what they should have done and their regrets and their things they're happy about.
Yeah.
And some great showstopper after a showstopper after a showstopper. I mean,
Well,
you
is,
name
the
some of
opening,
songs.
is the opening number still those
Beautiful
beautiful,
Girls.
girls?
Beautiful
You
girls.
know, yeah, I
Yes.
love that.
He sings
Wait
it
till
and
you
holds
hear.
the notes
Yeah.
so long.
Here they come, those
Yeah, beautiful
beautiful
girls.
girls.
We can go get lunch while he holds the
I got
note.
you. Yeah. Breath control.
Yes.
You know, it's funny when you say implosion and the building closed, especially with the Tropicana.
Right now,
April
exactly.
3rd or something,
Yeah.
it's
It's
gone.
How serendipitous
And the
is
Follies
that?
Bergère was there for all
Yeah.
those years. So it's
It-
very,
it
the
is.
timing of you bringing this musical, reviving it
Yes.
back, and the actual implosion
Yeah.
of one of the biggest venues we've had in
Yeah.
Vegas for years and years.
Yeah.
And one of the owners, Cindy Dumaney, is in our show.
Oh,
And
nice.
she was a showgirl at the Thunderbird, and she married
Yeah.
the
Fred.
Dumaney.
Dumaney.
Fred Dumaney, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
that's
couldn't
all
think
right.
of it.
That's
Yeah.
all right. We didn't name drop.
Yeah.
It's all good. No, that is, it's really kind of.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to
She's
see
in the show. She's 90.
Oh, tell me about that. I understand there's
Yes.
a couple of
97.
Well,
We
our,
have-
our oldest cast member is 97.
97.
Anna
Oh.
Bailey. And Anna was the first African American showgirl here in the Las Vegas Strip. And Cindy Dumaney is 93?
About 91, I think, something like that.
Early 90s. But we have 80-somethings,
Joni.
70-somethings.
Joni Ceylon.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
It's a cast
86.
of over almost 50 people, 46
Wow.
people with a 30-piece orchestra.
Well,
Strings, yeah.
and I know that you've got some pretty big names coming.
Bubba.
Andrea McCardle.
Andrea
Is she-
McCardle, the original Annie.
Original Annie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I loved her since she first started with Annie, and then she
Yep.
did that made-for-TV movie
Yep.
called Rainbow, where
Right.
she sang the songs of Judy Garland. She's just got an incredible voice.
Yes,
Yeah.
very talented.
And Bubba Knight.
Bubba Knight.
And Clint Holmes.
Love
Kelly
Clint
Holmes.
Kelly Clinton.
Kelly Clinton.
Keep your fingers
awesome.
crossed. Is scheduled to be on our next show if we can work out the timing. She's always in rehearsal for something, but we're gonna try to
Yeah.
have her on our next
Oh,
show.
good.
But she's in the Follies,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Name anybody
Sky
else.
to Miles.
Oh, and I love Sky,
Sky
DeMiles.
D. Miles.
Is she the? Oh,
She's
she makes me
amazing.
happy when she
Yeah,
comes
we're gonna
on.
put a picture of Sky
Oh.
up.
Yeah.
I hope because I've known her for years. I haven't
Yeah.
seen her
And
in a
then
while.
First
but-
Lady of Jazz,
Michelle Johnson.
Michelle Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
and who am I forgetting? There's so
I mean,
there's too
there's
many
so
to
Well,
even
there's a lot
remember.
going.
Yeah.
So on that note, about how long does the show run?
It is a 2.5-hour musical with a 15-minute.
Oh, there's an intermission.
There's an intermission.
That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, it does stop. It's Act 1 and Act 2
That's
with an
right.
intermission in the middle.
Now, I haven't seen the showroom in a while.
It's beautiful. Seats almost about 600 people.
Is it theater seating,
Yes,
or they
theater-
have tables? or-
They have tables, and for this show, it'll be theater seating.
Okay.
It's versatile.
Okay.
But there's not a bad seat in the house because
Well-
of the intimacy of it. But the stage is very,
That's
very
what I
wide.
like.
Yeah.
Well, so now I understand it's selling pretty quickly, so
It is
it's
going
time
fast.
for people, if you want to go ahead and get your
Get your
tickets.
tickets.
So is there a
Yeah,
website?
the Showgirls Come Home, plural, showgirlscomehome.com.
Showgirlscomehome.com.
Yeah, or Ticketmaster, obviously, .com as well.
Ticketmaster always works.
Yeah.
And of course, there's always our show. We'll be sure to list it on
Perfect.
our new magazine, What's Up Vegas. Say it with me.
That's-
What's Up
What's up, Las
Vegas.
Vegas? Vegas.
What's Up Vegas. And there's no apostrophe on the what's. It's WHATSUP.Vegas.
No
That's
And it'll
exciting.
take you to the magazine with all the different articles. We highlight different performers, shows. We have everything from horoscopes to psychics to people talking about all kinds of subjects.
That's
and of course,
wonderful.
my monthly column, which I try to talk about a little bit about all performers in Vegas, with the emphasis on drag.
Yeah.
You guys are just delightful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
for
Thank
coming
you
to
for
Terry.
having us
No, it's
so
my
much.
pleasure. And Edie, thank you as well. And we're going to show some pictures from the Follies. They're getting ready, and we'll be right back.
Seems I see her everywhere I go. Oh,
And there you have it. The cast hard at work,
go.
rehearsing, getting it all together. That's a lot of people, Tim, to get on and off the stage
It is.
like that.
It's
And God bless you.
working
Yeah, it takes a lot of work. Anyway, we want to thank you for joining us today. I want to remind you to go on our website, whatsup.vegas, all together, whatsup.vegas. We're trying to get it out there. This, like I said, this is our third show, and we appreciate you guys. Miss Edie, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I know you're off to New York City. You got anything for us?
No, just visit my website, EdieEntertainer.com, and it's Edie with 1D. EdieEntertainer.com, and it shows all the dates of all the cities and performances.
So you got your whole schedule on there.
Yeah,
You're
oh,
booked
yeah.
up probably the rest of the year.
I am.
Good for you.
There's a few windows.
No, that's all right. You got to take a breath every now and then.
You do,
And
exactly.
do that. And thank you guys from the Follies. We have Suzanne,
Thank you.
Tim, and Terry. Thank you guys so much for being here. Listen, tune in. Go to whatsup.vegas. I'm Jimmy Emerson. You can call me whatever you want. I've been called worse, trust me.
But
And
not
I wanna
late for
thank,
dinner.
I want to thank our producers and editors, Lynn and Debbie. John Stiles, thank you for the beautiful studio and helping us do all this. Damon, I want to thank, he's our internet guy and helps us get things done. We have a cast of thousands behind the scenes because it takes a lot of money and work to look this cheap. I'm just saying. Thank you guys again. Everybody, goodbye. Goodbye. Mwah.